Diamond Asteroid. 16 Psyche, asteroid mining. Scientists discovered an asteroid that could be worth more than the entire global economy at 10 quintillion US, and people want to mine it. The asteroid, named 16 Psyche, appears to have a core made of iron, nickel, and gold, and NASA is going to check it out next year. We think that this asteroid is an exposed core of an early planet, so NASA is sending a probe there to have a look and confirm what this asteroid is actually made of. If correct, it may be possible to send mining equipment there to gather this precious metal and bring it home. Welcome to another episode. If you enjoy this type of content, then subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss out on any of our latest and greatest uploads. Are you willing to bet that asteroid mining will occur during your lifetime? Like Earth, planetary bodies such as the Moon, Mars, asteroids, and comets contain substantial deposits of valuable resources. This has caught the attention of both researchers and industry, with hopes of one day mining them to support a space economy. But setting up any kind of off-Earth mining industry will be no small feat. Let's look at what we're up against. In situ resource utilization. When you think of off-Earth mining, you might imagine extracting materials from various bodies in space and bringing them back to Earth. But this is unlikely to be the first commercially viable example. If we wanted to establish a permanent human presence on the Moon, as NASA has proposed, we would need to resupply astronauts living there. Resources such as water can only be recycled to an extent. At the same time, resources are extremely expensive to launch from Earth. As of 2018, it cost about $3,645 to launch 1 kilogram of material into low Earth orbit, and more to launch it higher, or onto the Moon. It's likely materials mined in space will be used in space to help save on these costs. Harvesting materials required on-site is called in situ resource utilization. It can involve anything from mining ice to collecting soil to build structures. NASA is currently exploring the possibility of constructing buildings on the Moon with 3D printing. Mining in space could also transform satellite management. Current practice is to deorbit satellites after 10 to 20 years when they run out of fuel. One lofty goal of space companies such as Orbit Fab is to design a type of satellite that can be refueled using propellant collected in space. Even for low Earth orbit satellites, the energy required to reach them from the Moon is less than that needed to reach them from Earth. But work is underway. While it's still early days, a number of companies are currently developing technologies for off-Earth mining, space resource exploration, and for other uses in space. The Canadian Space Mining Corporation is developing infrastructure required to support life in space, including oxygen generators and other machinery. US-based company Off-World is developing industrial robots for operations on Earth, the Moon, asteroids, and Mars. And the Asteroid Mining Corporation is also working to establish a market for space resources. 16 Psyche is a large M-type asteroid discovered by the Italian astronomer Annibale de Gasparis on the 17th of March 1852, and named after the Greek goddess Psyche. The prefix 16 signifies that it was the 16th minor planet in order of discovery. It is the largest and most massive of the M-type asteroids and one of the dozen most massive asteroids. It has a mean diameter of approximately 220 kilometers, or 140 miles, and contains about 1% of the mass of the asteroid belt. Historically, it was hypothesized to be the exposed core of a protoplanet, but numerous recent studies have all but ruled that out. Psyche will be explored by the spacecraft of the same name, humanity's first visit to a metallic asteroid. Launch is planned in 2023 and arrival in 2029. Somewhere out in space, between Mars and Jupiter, the asteroid 16 Psyche orbits the Sun, and NASA is headed there soon. The mission offers the opportunity to explore the science and possible mining potential of a wildly metal-rich asteroid. Shaped like a potato, the 140-mile diameter asteroid may be the remnant of the core of a shattered planet. Getting to the core of planets isn't easy, with so many layers of mantle and crust surrounding what is often the metal-heavy center. Researchers believe 16 Psyche may be what's left after a space collision stripped off the outer layers, leaving this potential core intact about 235 million to 309 million miles from the Sun. NASA originally planned to send its Psyche spacecraft to the rock last year, but a delay in software components for the spacecraft has pushed the mission launch out to this October via a SpaceX Falcon Heavy rocket. Once NASA gets the spaceship close to the asteroid, likely at least 4 years from launch, the agency plans to study it using a suite of instruments, from multispectral cameras to gamma-ray and neutron spectrometers and magnetometers. The spacecraft will communicate with Earth using a high-gain antenna. 16 Psyche might be hiding a rocky mantle beneath a metal coating. In order to estimate the porosity of an object like 16 Psyche, Nichols-Fleming and a team of scientists from Brown and Purdue created a computer model based on the known thermal properties of metallic iron. The model showed that Psyche's internal temperature would have had to cool below 800 Kelvin, 980 degrees Fahrenheit, or 526 degrees Celsius, very quickly after its formation to remain highly porous for an extended amount of time. If the temperatures had gone any higher, the iron would have been malleable enough that Psyche's own gravity would have collapsed most of that pore space, turning it into solid metal. The researchers explained that it is incredibly unlikely that a space object the size of 16 Psyche would have cooled so quickly, given the conditions of the early universe. Given their results, it is unlikely that 16 Psyche is a porous space rock made almost entirely of iron. They posited that the asteroid is likely hiding a rocky component that gives it a lower density than estimations based on light readings. One theory the researchers explained is that 16 Psyche is a ferrovolcanic object. This means that volcanic activity on the asteroid might be bringing large amounts of its core to the surface, giving Psyche a metallic outer coating. Of course, none of this will be proven until NASA sends its Psyche probe to the space rock. The US Space Agency aims to launch its spacecraft in August of this year. After a 4-year journey, it is expected to reach 16 Psyche around January of 2026. As Nichols-Fleming explains, Psyche is, quote, such a bizarre and mysterious thing that anything NASA's mission finds will be really important new data points for the solar system. NASA says that the opportunity to inspect 16 Psyche may offer a bit of insight into the core of Earth. Scientists are hoping to find a magnetic field, which would indicate the past life as the core of a planet. But even beyond that, NASA is pretty much just intrigued about the possibility of exploring a metal-rich asteroid up close. And there's another intoxicating component of such a large hunk of iron and nickel. It's a large hunk of iron and nickel. In 2020, NASA's Lindy Elkins-Tanton said that the metal could be worth 10 quintillion US dollars, since there could be plenty of other valuable metals, such as gold, platinum, iridium, and more, along with the iron and nickel. That's about $30 billion for every American citizen, as Luxury Launches points out. Let's get to mining. Sadly, we don't really know how to do that yet, and it isn't the focus of the mission anyway. So, we may just have to leave the allure of the metal's value on the table and focus on the science, for now. Hit the notification bell to stay informed about when we upload a video to update you guys on this SpaceX mission. And with that, we've reached the end of this video all about the Diamond Asteroid, 16 Psyche, and asteroid mining. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for content just like it.